Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here I would like to say hello and welcome, and I hope you will stick around. And to my current subscribers, welcome back. It's always good to see you guys. I love reading your comments and thank you so much for your support. I hope everybody had a happy new year, and for the new year I would like to do something a little bit different on my channel. Don't worry, I'll still be doing builds and stop motion builds, but I also wanted to do a little bit more storytelling. This is something that I really enjoy doing, but don't have a lot of time to do it because making stop motion builds is really time consuming. So I wanted to be able to free up a little bit more of my time so I could bring more content to my channel and do something different. And I also wanted to have a little more time to do some traditional speed builds so you guys could actually see my building process and what I'm doing. So just a few days ago I uploaded my first full-length machinima, I guess you would call it that, but it was the machinima without a stop motion speed build at the beginning of it. It was just the machinima part. And if you haven't watched it yet, I really hope you will go and check it out. This speed build here is all the scenes that I made for that machinima. Okay, so let me explain what's going on in this video. For the first scene of my machinima, the main characters are traveling in an airplane going on a trip. For the exterior shots in the video, I did use a CC jet, and if you are interested in that CC jet, I have left the links to it in the machinima video. So here I'm building the interior of the jet, and instead of placing like 50 individual seats and 50 individual overhead storage cabinets, or in this case night tables, I'm going to just copy and paste a 4-seat section that I build that includes the window and the seats and the TV that's in the back of the seat, and then the overhead storage cabinets that I made with the cats and dogs child's night table. And this piece is the foot illumination system from Spa Day that I sized up a bunch of times, and then I flip it over with tulle so I can put it up underneath the cabinets so it kind of like hides the underbelly of the night table. And I flipped it over so that the brighter side would be showing. I tried to keep the interior of the jet as minimal as possible because I was going to put a lot of sims in here for the video, and I didn't want to have a lot of leg or anything like that. For the windows, I had sized down a round base game window and left just a hole in the wall, a round hole in the wall, instead of leaving the original window which had that cross design over it. I thought the hole in the wall looked more like a jet plane window than the original design of the window. Plus I draw a green screen room around it so I can make it look like the plane is actually flying. So the next thing I built for my video was this ring box. The ring is a debug ring from the base game, and you can find it by typing in the cheat BB show hidden objects and then just type ring into the search box and it should pop up. And I use the trash can from Snowy Escape as the ring box, and of course I'm using Tool by Twisted Mexi to scale all the objects. I also use Tool to push the trash can down into the ground a bit. There are other ways you can achieve this, but since I use Tool on the whole ring box and it really isn't possible to make it like this without Tool, I just went ahead and used Tool to push it down into the ground as well. I also put a little angle on the wedding ring with the Tool mod, and I build the lid for the box out of shelves and by angling them with Tool mod. For the shot I did of the wedding ring box in my machinima, I didn't actually show the top part of the box, just the open part, so I didn't build a top for the box. Rather, I put an ottoman in there to look like the inside of the top of the box. And if I just completely confused you, don't worry, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about in just a few seconds. And here I am using 4 of the immaculate shelves to make the sides of the box, and then for like the top piece I'm going to use an ottoman from City Living and angle it with the Tool mod. I do a still shot of this wedding ring box in my machinima, and I just sized up a dresser and I pushed it into the ground with the Tool mod and then took a screenshot. And as you can see, I did build this box on a piece of foundation so it could be easily moved. And I also saved it to my library, so if anybody wants a ring box, just let me know. And now I'm going to angle this city living seat or ottoman or whatever you would like to call it. And this is also exactly how I make pillows too for couches and stuff. And I also use like other ottomans and whatever I can find that looks cute. And here's the actual still shot from the video, the finished ring box sitting on top of an enlarged dresser. And the last thing I built for my machinima was this snowy escape environment inspired restaurant. And I really was going for one specific shot that I had in mind, and I wanted like a scenic window as they were dining. And then I just got carried away and kind of like completed the restaurant. I mean, it's not completely complete, it doesn't even have a roof or anything, but this did give me an idea for a future restaurant I will be making quite similar to this. I did manage to build almost this entire restaurant without having a sim on the lot. Usually I will have a sim on the lot and build it as a residential at first and then change it to a restaurant, but I did bring a sim onto the lot later because I needed to use tool on 2 items, and you'll see that in the video in a minute. And the funny thing is that the 2 objects that I just had to use tool on aren't even in the machinima, nor is the kitchen or the bathroom or most of this restaurant, but I did need to have the requirements for it to be a restaurant. I will rebuild this restaurant in more detail at a later point in time because I really did like the idea of having the private dining rooms for your sims to have like a romantic date in. I thought it would be cool to show you guys some of the behind the scenes footage of the machinima that I had just made, and this way I was able to do like a traditional speed build so you guys could see how I'm building this stuff and like my thought process as I'm building it, which is a little bit chaotic because as you can see I'm decorating this kitchen that isn't even shown in the machinima. And I'm definitely going to have to add a no-slip sink mat to this kitchen because safety first. This restaurant didn't take me very long to build, and usually restaurants don't take me very long because I don't use tool on them much and I don't mess around with custom furniture. And typically, like even in a residential build, I won't like make a custom table because I find them to be really buggy. So usually I'm gonna use like a regular game table just so there's no issues for the sims. The thing that took me the longest in this restaurant was this koi pond I was trying to build for the waiting area. And Snowy Escape has these debug koi fish that are like under lily pads that you can place and it will spawn koi fish. Except like when you put them inside though, they like darkened like a lot of the debug plants do, if you've noticed. And that really bothers me. It doesn't look very nice. So I was really wanting these koi fish inside my restaurant in the pond because how cool is that, right? But I couldn't get it to look good. Like I put the skylights in the roof to try to brighten them up and so on and so forth. So that's why I eventually brought a sim on the lot so I could use tool and scale those lily pads down to 0.01 because the koi fish stayed the same size, and then I just used those other lily pads on top, and that was a perfect solution. And of course I must note that again, none of this is even seen in the machinima, but you know, I had to have it. So you guys be sure to let me know if you like this type of speed build, if you would like to see like more of them in like a behind the scenes type thing on my channel. Of course I'm still going to make stop motion speed builds, but I do want to have a little bit more time to do some other things, and making back-to-back stop motions, it's just not possible. And here you can see what I'm talking about with the lily pads. The ones on the right are darkened and the ones on the left are normal colored, and no matter what I did or how I put them, or like some part of them was always darkened and I just couldn't get it to look right. It was driving me crazy. And now to talk about the reason why I built this whole lot, and that was really for this one room, this romantic dining room, that I wanted to have this big window that would overlook like the snowy landscaping and like some sort of water feature. So I used one of the hot springs from Snowy Escape, and I turned it around so they wouldn't be able to get in it while they were supposed to be eating dinner, because you know how Sims like to do what they want to do and not what you want them to do. And then I added more koi because clearly I'm obsessed with koi, and thank God they won't boil in the hot spring, right? And I used the Cheat BB Show Live Edit objects to add a lot of these evergreen trees that are from the base game. And I also used Tool Mod to move some of these off the lot, but to fill in the empty space so I could have my scenic romantic window. And by the way, the window is actually an open door from Snowy Escape that I raised up a few times with the 9 key. And no worries, that will not affect weather inside or the lighting inside. And that's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching my behind the scenes video. And please be sure to check out my Machinima. Thank you. See you again soon.